thank you to Birch Living for sponsoring this video. Like basically everybody, sleep is really important to me, especially working day and night on a project such as this. Birch is a premium mattress in a box company that makes mattresses and sleep products that are stylish, comfortable, and environmentally conscious. Their non-toxic mattresses are made right here in America and are crafted with organic and natural materials that have been sustainably sourced. It is specifically created with breathability, cooling, and support in mind, and offers increased airflow and targeted zone and lumbar support. As the weather gets warmer this summer, the breathability of this natural materials keeps me cool and comfortable while I sleep. It was important for me to choose a Birch mattress that is made with organic and natural materials because working in the sun all day, I get hot and I want my mattress to stay cool, and the Birch provides that. In addition to being a better mattress for me, Birch is committed to being a better mattress for the planet. I love that throughout the creation of their mattresses, Birch ensures that their materials are produced and harvested sustainably.
We've had our Birch mattress for about 3 months now, and we are still loving it. It's so much more comfortable than our old mattress, and we can't seem to keep the dogs off of it. They love it as well. I fall asleep so much faster now on this mattress than our old one, and I've been waking up more well rested.
With your Birch mattress, you get a 100-night sleep trial along with a 25-year warranty. If it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried, you get more than 3 months to make sure you love it. If you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund. The best part about all of this is Birch delivers the mattress right to your door for free within the US. It comes rolled up in a box and it's super easy to set up yourself. And each Birch mattress comes with 2 of their Eco-Rest pillows that are made from recycled plastic bottles. They're breathable and better for the environment. Kim and I love our Birch mattress and we think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Birch. You can click the link below for $400 off your mattress plus 2 free pillows. So thanks again to Birch. Now back to the show.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Hope you guys have all had a super swell week. I've had a pretty good one here myself. So let's roll into a few quick time lapses. All of these will be for one of the windows in the front of the house. And it came out looking quite nice, but we'll get to that right after this. And here we are, the very first fully completed window, which looks quite nice. I know somebody was asking about the gaps around here, and of course the sides. They were asking about the back window. This has to all be done with mortar. That's what was in there originally. So that's of course what will be going back. I've noticed a few of these windows had caulk in them, but that wasn't what was used traditionally. So I'm gonna put mortar back in there. But I have to, of course, make some of my own because it has to be lime mortar. But we'll be figuring that out in the next week or two, I believe. Maybe a little bit longer, depends. Right now, these gaps aren't too much of a concern. They don't really let any water in. At least these windows are so tucked back that they don't really have that concern. But it's looking quite beautiful. I really like the green with the black. The iron came out great. Of course, this one is missing this. I'm not exactly sure I'm gonna make that quite yet, whether I should try to cast something like this in iron, or if I should go ahead and just, oh, I don't know, 3D print something, or cast one of these and cast this in resin and glue this on. I mean, you know, these things aren't terribly functional, let's say. I mean, they are for like keeping people out of the basement. Of course, these ones here in the front have a little cork to them because they open. One of the main reasons why I think these open is this room down here, I'm pretty sure was the coal room, but the next two over actually open as well. So the one over that way and one more that way, those all open like this one. And they all have different methods of how to lock them. They all have this here, but they have different plates, and some of them have bolts, and you know, they're all a little bit different. So I'll have to figure out exactly what I'm gonna do with mine. But I wanna make it so where this can be opened, because that way they're breakaway. And for fire safety reasons, it makes it a lot easier to be able to open the window, open this guy, and of course get out of the building. So I do wanna make these breakaway. I just not quite sure how to do that yet. Yeah, the window back there needs a little bit of a touch up. And I certainly gotta get some what's called spring bronze, which is a weather stripping system for this window. These are what are called casement windows. So instead of having the sashes go up and down, they actually swing in and out. So that's the type of windows we're dealing with. But I'm definitely happy to have one back in. I think it looks really good. I mean, considering what they look like when I first started, yeah, it definitely looks a lot better than that. And this one in particular was actually a little bit worse than that one over there, mostly because there was a old gas gauge right here in the center. So we had about a 1/4 inch round hole here. There was old gas lines leading through here. So there was, oh, I don't know, a 2 inch by 1 inch hole all the way through there. In fact, this line right here is brand new. That's actually just Albatron in there. Same thing over here. There was a smaller hole. There was another one down here for an electrical outlet that was here, an old switch. No idea what it goes to, but it was an older one. But there's a big hole about right here. Somebody had cut this specific window up quite a bit. And yeah, quite happy to have it back together. So I was reading some of the comments this week, and somebody was saying that I definitely needed to be working on getting a working kitchen functioning. And you'd be right, I definitely need to get a more functional kitchen together. The thing is, we have been working on that. It just hasn't been my effort. But just inside this window, and the reason I picked this window, because it's the very last one. I mean, this is my neighbor's yard over there, which you guys don't really need to see. That's not mine, so I shouldn't show you. But lots and lots of work has been going on down there. So it'll be a little bit dark, but definitely want to show you guys. Also, condenser unit, AC lines. We're getting very close to this being done. So there's where we were standing outside just a minute ago. That's that same window. As you can see, lots and lots of boards up. These walls had to be furred out, mostly because of the plumbing that's being ran. That and this wall right here is just beadboard. There's no width to it at all. It's only about 3/4 of an inch thick, that entire wall. And because this room right here is going to be a bedroom at some point and a bathroom where people like yourselves can come stay, because I think this is such a cool room that I want to share it with as many people as humanly possible. We wanted to definitely insulate between here and here. So the authentic beadboard stuff will all be good on this side of the wall, and this side of the wall will be way more utilitarian. So this room just isn't a kitchen. You can see we got the wall furred out over here. This is also my laundry. So if you can imagine over here, refrigerators, dishwashers, sinks, stoves, all the fun kitchen-y stuff. I think the sink will actually be right here under the window, which will be awesome. But so normal kitchen over here, and on this side, you can already see we have the box on the wall. That's for a washer dryer. We plan on having 2 big sinks here. We actually already own them. They're terracotta sinks. We'll be using them for like slop sinks and launder sinks. If you have a stain in your shirt, you can soak it. And then this area will be built out to be a very, very large linen closet, so we can hold all the linen. Since we have this desire to be able to let you guys come and stay in these rooms, I have to have somewhere to store all of the bedding. So bedding storage. Also, this room here is going to be all of our systems. And of course, one of the biggest systems currently now taking up the space is the AC system, which runs all over the place. And this is also kind of quickly becoming our little storage unit, which is kind of nice. So yeah, there's usually a little bit more going on behind the scenes than you guys realize. And I need to be maybe a bit better about letting you guys know all of the things that are happening. But sometimes, you know, you forget about it. You start trying to film stuff and it's too dark down here to show you guys. And so yes, we're about a week away from having the AC done. Of course, this is the first day it's felt like fall outside, so, you know, maybe we don't really need the AC portion of it, but it also has heat. And last year, the boiler was quite expensive to run, and I imagine that this system will be at least a little bit cheaper, especially with natural gas prices the way they are. So, you know, it's good to have heat here. It's good to have an extra system. Of course, a lot of the windows and stuff like that are a bit more sealed up and a bit better than they were last year as well. So fingers crossed we can make it very comfortable, the entire first floor very comfortable this winter. At least that is the hope. All right, so I think it's time for a few more time lapses to show you guys some of the other really amazing things that are going on, because there's a lot this week. So let's get into those, and I'll be right back with you.
Hello and welcome back. So for the first little project you guys saw in the time lapse, I got this little chip deflector from the planer all done and painted up in this really pretty green and cream color scheme, which is very fitting, I think, with the house. I don't quite like how glossy it is, but I imagine once it gets some sawdust on it, eventually it won't be so bad. And I think it turned out quite nice. No more rust, considering how orange and red it was with rust. I think it's looking pretty good. Now, the reason I actually put any kind of time and effort into a project like this when I have so many other things going on is because A, I wanted to do something for Hall & Brown because I think it's really cool and I wanted to make something that was on that machine very beautiful. Secondly, this plate on the planers is really rare. Usually these are broken, and that's why you have the repairs here, because this one was also broken, but this one was repaired. Yeah, and so it is a little weird here in the corner still. But you know, I at least grinded it down enough to give it this little shape here, so it doesn't look too out of place or less out of place. Same thing on the other side, you can see some of the welds here. And lastly, this is a really good storytelling method. When people come here for tours, and that happens quite frequently. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, we had an entire tour bus come through and tour the house. So that happens frequently, but this is a really good storytelling tool to be able to explain what Hall & Brown is. It's another artifact. Now, of course, eventually this goes back on the machine, but that doesn't mean I'm currently restoring the entire machine right now. So nobody get the idea that that's actually what I'm setting out to do at this exact moment, because it's definitely not. So the other little time lapse you guys just saw, I think, is something that's actually a bit more amazing than even the plate. So let me show you that with you guys. And that would be all of this absolutely beautiful sapele, mahogany type wood that we have here, it's actually the same exact stuff as the new windows that we've put in mostly last year. But you can see all of this wood is actually all for the mansard roof, including this giant profile here. And this stuff here is actually the very top part of the gutter box. It's a really, really beautiful molding, and actually there's one at the top of the house, but it's about that big. This is about a little over 7 inches, and I think it's 2 1/4 thick. Each one of these pieces, which are about 12 foot long, weigh about 65 pounds. They're beefy, very, very beefy pieces of wood. They're quite heavy, quite unruly to get around. And a lot of that comes from the type of wood we're using. Before, all the other pieces were cypress, which is a really good option for water resistance. Sapele here is also a really good option for that as well, but this stuff is super, super dense. So very, very heavy wood and beautiful graining on the wood, which is going to be a real shame when I have to paint it. But you know, this is about the same cost as cypress, and since we couldn't get the cypress in, this is what we had to use. And obviously we all know it's good stuff because it's holding up really, really well for the windows. As you can see here, it does pretty good. So sorry about the shadows, but this is the same wood when you put shellac on it. It has an absolutely beautiful color. So any leftover bits of this I'll definitely keep around because there's a lot of this lumber in the house now with the windows and stuff. So if I ever need a little chunk of it, I think I'll have plenty of extra little bits of cutoffs. And if we look down the line here, you can see all the different profiles of all the different moldings we have in this house. And of course, this isn't all of it. You guys have seen me throughout the months paint little bits of long strips of wood like this, and those are some of the other moldings. But we're getting really close. I specifically like these really little, what Eric calls my historic carpenter noodle molding. These little tiny guys go directly underneath those huge patterns, so they sit right at the base of those, and it just gives it a really, really fun shape. Of course, it is really cool to have all of this wood, but I think it's really, really amazing knowing that not only do I have this stuff, but it was cut on Hall & Brown equipment. Like the fact that I'm able to put this guy's house back with his machines is so cool. I don't know of anybody who's ever been able to rebuild a person's house with their own tools. So I'm really fascinated by this story and all this stuff, and I think it's really fun. So I hope you guys are enjoying the journey as much as I am. So that's gonna do it for me this week, guys. But I did want to let you guys know about what's kind of coming up in the next month or so. Most all of you guys know that Kim and I have a wedding coming up on October 8th. So that's less than a month away, which is really exciting. And with that, that means that week around the 8th of October, I will be taking a little bit of time down. This is actually the first time I've taken any time down from the channel in about 2 years. So pretty crazy that in itself. But don't worry, you guys will not be left without a video. I have some really cool spooky season stuff coming up. I have some really fun things planned. Some really cool, I think, unique stories to tell. And yeah, I'm really excited about these next few weeks because I'll be throwing in a little extra video for you guys here and there, all dealing with the fall season and keeping with the Victorian theme, or at least the Hall & Brown theme. So I think these things are gonna be quite exciting. I hope you guys join me for this fun fall season. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. I'm gonna go and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of my week, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye. Take care.